Okay, hi guys. My name's Rachel. I'm a third grade teacher, and Matthew, I really liked everything that you had to say, and it inspires me as a teacher that we have so many high school youth working the way that you do. But I am lucky enough to kind of have a captive audience in who I'm working with. One thing I agree with that Matthew said is that you can make a difference. Never underestimate your ability to make a difference. And I think that's what I taught the 8-year-olds that I work with when we did our hunger project. And Sarah, I can't seem to change the slide.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wait.
Doing it.
Okay, I did it. I think I skipped a slide. Can we go back?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Oh, great. So one of the things that I do with little kids, and you could do this with teenagers, you could do this with adults, is just begin with what are you interested in? We had an issue to deal with in my classroom, and we just began with a story, and we talked about it. But one of the things that I think a lot of people miss out on because they get so excited about their cause is just to have a conversation. What do you know? What are the misconceptions? What are your ideas on how we can help? And when I'm working with third graders, you know, in the beginning they said, this is way too big of a problem for us to help with. So what I did was just we had the conversation, and then we started doing a little bit of research. And we brought in, I think on the slide it says introduce primary sources. So we brought in some guest speakers. And whether you're working with Matthew's group, or you're working with an older group, or you're working with little kids, if you can get some people who are experts in to talk to you, that will help quite a bit. To see those cute kids, we're looking up information right there. And one of the things that I did for little kids was I compiled places for them to go so that they weren't randomly searching. So if you're the leader, like Matthew was with his bullying project, or whatever project you're doing, if you want your audience to go where you're going, you kind of have to give them a little push in that direction. You kind of have to give them some, some background knowledge, and then that will help them build up what they want to do. Oh, I can't get it to go. So one of the things I did, well, I missed the map. Let's see. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. One of the things I did was provided them with the information, and then we were lucky enough to have YSA come out and interview. And for the group of children the group that I'm dealing with, little kids, one of the most important aspects of this whole project was reflection. Okay, what did we think at the beginning? What do we think now? What have we learned? Have we changed our mind? So for us, and probably even for Matthew's group, what did we think when we were going into this? What do we think now, and how can we help? The picture that's on the screen now, when we started, we had this issue of what is childhood hunger, and we researched it, we read stories about it, we had conversations, lots and lots of misconceptions, and lots of little kids saying there's nothing we can do in our state to help childhood hunger. By the end of, we did a lot of investigation. We spent probably 4 months investigating the issue, and that's another important idea to bring up, is you can't just have an issue and take action. You have to go through the investigation stage. And sometimes if you're older, maybe it's 2 weeks or a month, but for little ones, it took us 4 months to investigate the issue of childhood hunger, find out what it is, find out what the issues were and how we could possibly help, and then start taking action that way. So the investigation took us quite a while. So we did some research. We researched online. We had tons and tons of guest speakers come in. And then by the end of this, the picture that you're seeing now, which they all look so incredibly happy, our action that we took after all of those months of investigating the issue was having a rally at our state capitol to get a breakfast bill passed. And what you're seeing there is a senator from the state capitol, and we were fortunate enough that that bill passed on the day that we were there, and the senator is coming out and supporting all of the kids. So you know, a very civic lesson that they're learning early on, and when they get to be Matthew's age, all of these kids that you see in the picture are probably going to be leaders in their own projects. Like because they did all of the investigation up front, and then because they took action, in their hearts they feel like they can make a difference. So all of you that are listening and that are in this service learning thing that we do, you make a difference. You make a huge difference whether you think you do or not. And I think that was probably my last slide. I clicked through a bunch of them pretty quickly. Like I said, I'm a teacher. I'm used to answering questions all day, every day, so feel free to reach out to me. And right now I'm available for questions.
Great. Thank you, Rachel. Like she said, feel free to shoot your questions over in the same questions box, and we'll go ahead and answer some questions. The first question we have for you, Rachel, is fostering a strong partnership between a school and a community partner can be difficult. Do you have any experience with this? And either way, if you've had experience with it, do you have advice for doing so? Or if not, any thoughts on that?
Oh my gosh, I have tons and tons of experience in working with the community, and I have never had an issue when I've reached out to anybody in any project, and I've done over the years tons of service projects ranging from water to hunger, everything you can think of. My experience is anytime I've reached out to the community, they have been more than willing to come to our school or to do a Skype. We've done national Skypes. It seems like the community is dying to get into the school system. So maybe I'm fortunate in that arena. But even out of the school, when I'm doing different service projects, you know, through my church or as an adult, I find that the community, the businesses really want to get involved, and especially if it's a nonprofit, they're looking for some backup, so they readily share their resources.
Great, that's awesome. Great advice. Looks like we've just got one other question here. How did you go about picking childhood hunger as the issue that you in your classroom would focus on? And how did you get those children to be inspired by that issue and by other projects?
That is a great question. I personally am very passionate about childhood hunger as a person who grew up hungry. Mm-hmm. But for this particular project, I had gotten a grant from YSA for specifically focusing on childhood hunger through Sodexo and YSA. My kids were not all interested in the beginning. I'm going to be honest about that. But what we did is we had a lot of conversations, and I never told them what to think. I let them think what they were thinking until they learned differently. So they might have had the misconception that all hungry people are lazy. I didn't tell them that wasn't the case. We did research, and they discovered differently. And the more we researched and the more we talked to the community, the more their passion built. I didn't have to build it for them. It came naturally.